This is Herbert from Fritz Schlemmeregg, and you're listening to Turbojugend Radio.
You heard it from Herbert. You're listening to Turbojugend Radio, the episode number 12, which means it's anniversary. It's a 1-year anniversary of Turbojugend Radio, which we are bringing to you. And yeah, by the way, Herbert, who was doing the intro on this episode, he just recently celebrated his 75th. Yes, you heard that right. 75 years of age. Herbert had his birthday, and Jugens were coming from all over the places. I heard that Al, he flew in from Los Angeles to be with Herbert on his 75th birthday. Great thing. He was having a party, and I was told it was a blast. And thank God, we will be all having the chance to go ahead and congratulate him on his birthday. And I want to do this officially on the podcast right now. So Herbert, happy birthday. We're all happy to have you around us, and we're all happy about the Schlemmeregg that you set up for us to be such a nice and convenient and lovely place to hang out and drink our beers. All right, so this is the 1-year anniversary episode of Turbojugend Radio, and we will be bringing to you news from all over the planet. We'll be going to Cincinnati to talk to Turbojugend Cin City. I just visited the States and got the chance to talk to those wonderful guys over there. We'll be having our monthly MVP segment as I'm talking to Mickey Six from Turbojugend Salzburg. And at the end of the podcast, we once again head back to North America, but this time to Canada, to give you guys an update on a pretty big event of Turbojugend Toronto Darkness, as I'm talking to the local president who set up a really, really big event called Turbojugend Nights happening in Toronto in August. So yeah, sit down, all of you, open up your pants and maybe also skirts. Yeah, but just keep quiet and let your things arouse and keep listening to Turbojugend Radio episode number 12. So here I am in the city of Cincinnati, in Ohio, on a Monday evening with 6 Jugens showing up, which is kind of impressive for a Monday night. They're all nodding. To talk about the Turbojugend in the city of Cincinnati. So you guys are, how many years have you guys been doing this?
7 years. We started in 2007, 2006.
Late 2006. By the time we got
8 years.
The Kutte arrived. It was 7.
Well, back there it took 9 months to get a cut. So.
Why was that?
Well,
was it back then from Hamburg?
Yeah. So.
And then settling on Cin City was part of it because we wanted Cincinnati and couldn't get that.
There was a false Jugend that was already registered called Cincinnati, so we couldn't get that name. I tried to contact the people who were listed as being the president and vice president of that chapter, and no one ever responded to me. We had never seen a single jacket or anything, and so we decided to just go with Cin City, and since then we've actually taken control of the Cincinnati chapter too. So we have 2, but we represent a Cin City, because that's where we started.
So would you consider yourself a Turbojugend Cincinnati or Cin City?
Well, we own both chapters.
So it was a takeover?
Well, it wasn't that difficult.
A friendly?
It definitely wasn't a hostile takeover. We just, I emailed the Jugendwort and asked if we could have the name, because nobody was doing anything with it, and so we ended up eventually having it. And but we don't really represent as that. We just don't want anybody else trying to claim it.
Like I told you, I'm the only one that ordered a Cincinnati coupe so far. It's a nice vest, but it doesn't have the wear and tear and the party miles that this one does, so it doesn't have as much meaning.
So your one from 2 years ago is the first Cincinnati cut that ever got made.
The only one.
Yeah, because then none of them ever got anything made, right?
Nobody ever did anything.
So it's just an online Jugend.
An online one time.
Until the rest of these guys run out of room on their coupe for patches, then they all want to order another one.
Okay, so this is your go-to Kutte then?
This is the coupe that goes everywhere.
The Cin City.
Everybody knows us as Cin City. Our Facebook page is Cin City. We represent as Cin City. Everybody wears Cin City cuts. So,
I'm getting a Cincinnati cut.
but Cincinnati is, we control it because we didn't want a bunch of frauds running around trying to claim.
Just to make sure.
Right.
And we've also had people that have joined Cin City and then show no heart after they order a jacket. Those people will never get into Cincinnati. The only people that will get into Cincinnati and be able to get a coupe for Cincinnati will be people that show up to meetings, parties, things like this where you got an out-of-town guest, you want to show them a good time. The people that take the time and effort to come out and show people a good time in our city.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite impressed. It's a Monday and six guys show up. I mean, if I ask my Jugend back in Vienna to show up on a Monday, it's very unlikely that
I'll hear about it tomorrow.
We had a sailor come from far away, so we wanted to come out and show you how much we love you.
Are you getting guests frequently?
Every couple months.
Yeah, every few months somebody rolls through, and a lot of times, somebody will just be passing through on a work-related, trip or something like that. So
As far as overseas,
we'll catch up with them, have a few drinks, and
give them some info, go do this, go do that. If
take
you
them
can't
to a
do it,
good restaurant, have a few drinks, and then drop them back off their hotel.
Or feed them, like you fed me.
It's all about.
Well, he said good
it's all about
restaurants,
tourism. It's fucking Death Punk tourism, and it's like everybody else. Anytime we make a friend, then we got another friend. You know what I mean? So
The army's growing.
that's
What
right.
you do with the sailor? You show them a good time.
That's right. If any of us ever end up in Vienna, I'm sure you'll return the hospitality, right? So that's what it's all
Of
about,
course.
dude.
So Cin City, is that the official name of the city? Is there so much sin in the city really?
who you hang out with.
Well, it's a very conservative, very, very staunchly conservative town. So all the sin is all kept underground, which typically makes it flourish, right? And I think we were talking about how the punk scene dried up, and I think that's because a lot of that conservative idealism kind of started to disappear in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so, when you lose the repressive regime, then it's not as much fun to sin anymore, right?
Yeah, nobody has any reason to be punk rock. They want to sound like the fucking band that just played upstairs.
It was a
poppy and happy.
hipster
and,
band. He had a beard
but
going.
they're not pissed off about anything. These kids that play music now, it's just happy. Hey, here's my keyboard, and this guy's gonna sing.
And he has a beard.
Yeah, probably.
And he looks male. I mean, you have a beard, but you look. It's a different beard. It's not a hipster beard.
No, I can't grow the rest of it out, so I'm just going with the goatee.
So, at what point was the punk rock dying in Cincinnati, and why was that?
Too many
2003.
bands. I would say it's too much quantity, not enough quality.
Right now?
Yeah, it's just there's too many bands, and like back then there wasn't as many, and they were all good. Everybody was more united.
It was unity.
You more unity, and then now there's too much separation, too many different cliques, too many. I'm too cool for you. I don't want to play with you, or your basement, or they play places like this, or it's.
Also, there's too many goddamn categories now.
Yeah.
It used to be, a punk band, a metal band, and a hardcore band would all play the same bill, and everybody would hang out, be cool, and have fun. And now, you'll never see that. You'll see a metal show is a metal show, and punks don't go. A punk show is a punk show, and
then,
hardcore kids.
You used to be able to go to 3 shows in the same fucking night at 3 different basements, go to 2 basement shows, and then go to one at the bar at 11 o'clock. You're like, see 9 or 10 bands in fucking one night, and that'd be on a Tuesday.
Well, that's another thing too. Now all the shows. Back then it was pay $3 and get in. Now all the shows are free, which is great. But the bars, the venues only want to book bands who will sell beer. So you can't even have like underage shows anymore. So because those kids aren't going to be coming in and buying beer, so they, the bars won't book those shows.
And a lot of the promoters want you to sell tickets to your friends to get you in. If you don't sell enough, then you don't get to play. So I mean that's.
So the bands with more friends get more stage time.
With
They
more,
usually suck.
yeah, and they use,
Stick
high school
around for
frat
everybody
boys,
else's
like,
band either.
yeah.
You know.
You'll see them come for one band and then go right home afterwards.
It's because, I hate to sound like the old guy, but the kids these days who are going to punk rock shows, they didn't grow up like getting their asses kicked in high school for having a mohawk. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have to struggle against anything. It wasn't, the kids these days, they don't have to be committed to anything.
Everybody gets a trophy
like,
these days.
Right. Well, back then, if you had a mohawk, if you had a blue mohawk, you were fucking committed because you were going to have to fight some rednecks on your way home from school, You were going to have to fight some skinheads who wanted to just kick your ass for no reason. Now, none of that's there. You can wear a mohawk one week and get away with it, no problem. And next week, you show up wearing a, Led Zeppelin fucking t-shirt or something, and nobody thinks any different.
or you walk in a Louis Vuitton store and get away with it anyway, because everybody has tattoos and looks rough and tough.
A punk or a sailor or a convict, Now, you're just some, hipster with a,
Or you play
hot water
or
music
NFL or
tattoo. I don't know.
whatever. Everybody and their fucking brother has a tattoo now.
But it's the same thing. It's about commitment, And back then it all meant something. Now it doesn't mean much at all, That's why I think at least the people here are so committed to the Kutte, Because when you put that thing on, you're actually representing something. You're actually committed to something. It's not just a haircut you can change or a tattoo like everybody else has. It's something that only we have. It's a thing of ours, And it definitely lets us know who our friends are.
And you are in control of the whole thing. Are you putting makeup on as well? Because I'm a makeup person when I'm not on vacation. Is that a thing that would go well here in the city? Have you guys? No.
No. None of us.
What will happen?
None of
Like
us
Dior
wear
Johnny
makeup.
or somebody,
I don't know. I don't know what kind of makeup.
Johnny did put
Like,
makeup
you talking about like Hank makeup or?
Well, any makeup, female makeup, yeah, more like the Pat Paul makeup and Happy Tom.
No, I mean, here it's.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of that in the States, really.
Yeah, I think here it's more of a kind of like biker metal culture. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone would care. Like, none of us would care. So.
Would you feel like doing it? You yourself?
No, I don't know. I don't think
it would look pretty good in makeup.
I don't think it'd go over too well with me.
I'll try it out.
You tried? You would, or have you?
I might have.
I've seen pictures of Sean wearing makeup.
I mean, it's nothing wrong about that because, well, I'm doing it, at least in Hamburg, but then it makes me feel better and free and whatnot.
If it makes you feel good, I say fucking do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, but
Expressing yourself,
To each their own.
yeah. But going back to the music scene, you're telling that there's so many bands in the city and everything's like sort of spreading out, but still like very segregated and stuff. As I started to learn that you guys are all playing in bands. You're really active in music. What bands are you in?
It's punk rock and hardcore, metal.
What's the name of the band?
He's in Gangrene.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to say.
Right, I play a band called Gangrene.
He's in the legendary seminal punk band Gangrene.
Tell him.
I go out, go play all these other cities. Way better than playing here, for sure. It's really disappointing playing in Cincinnati. Yeah, it's great. I'm all over the country. Little bits at a time.
So you're a local celebrity in the UK?
No, nobody.
Yes.
Only when he wears his makeup.
I do the lipstick thing. Here we go. Yeah, but no, I mean like here, you know, it's like nobody really cares, you know, besides my friends, and you know, that's all.
It's like any band.
That's all that matters.
Any band that's real big in their little city.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know, we got Gangrene here, but I'm sure in fucking I don't know, like Boston. Well, bad example because Gangrene's from Boston,
Right.
but like I'm sure out in LA, it's no big deal to see like the Dwarves every couple, you know.
Right.
Because they're from there, you know, you get to see them. But I mean, we kind of take Gangrene for granted, probably for that reason.
We
now.
We
go anywhere else like Miami, LA, or whatever, and say it's just insane because they don't know if they're ever going to see it again or whatever. You know, they probably won't. You know, I mean, everybody's up in the age or whatever.
I just read an article about Gangrene playing at Punk Rock Bowling. They said the line was down the block around
They sold
the corner.
out as soon as the tickets went on sale.
Like
Yeah,
here, they
so-
get 200 people at a show.
So don't let him downplay the popularity of the
Don't let
band.
Mr. Hollywood tell you
very humble. Very humble. You know, yes. You know, I'm grateful for what I've been doing. You know, hope to continue to do it.
How long have you been doing it?
A year. No, so I mean, it's been great. You know.
And I'm in a real black hardcore band that's getting ready to pop off. You know, it's called Body Count. You know, I got a tape of it right here. Yo, check it out.
Well, you guys are all playing in bands.
Well, we all do a band together, which is, I think, I can speak for all of us, one of the most fun things we've ever done musically. Is because we all just
Absolutely.
get together, drink a few beers, and fuck off, and just play dwarves, punk rock. You know,
Yeah, show up to the shows and not even worry about shows. We're always hanging out, you know, and then we just play, which is an extra fun thing. And, you know, it's no stress. You know, it's
And if the music sucks, it's not our fault because the Dwarves wrote it all.
Yeah.
right.
So it's a Dwarfs cover band.
Yeah, those who cannot be named.
Tribute band.
It's
not
a,
tribute.
it's a
We're not
tribute
cover
band. You know, like Steve, he played in bands over the years, like some of the best Cincinnati punk rock bands, Fungus and Restraint, two totally different veins of punk rock. I think that's how I met him for the first time in like, what, 94? Something like that.
Brandon played with
Long
himself
time
a
ago.
lot.
Yeah, I still do. You know, I mean,
And Brandon was in one of the seminal Cincinnati local punk rock bands called Snot Boy 77.
the third incarnation of that band because they went through a lot of different members, but we're actually working on doing a 20-year reunion here in the next couple of months. As soon as we can pick a date unanimously that everybody agrees on and try to get a show going.
And Mike's in one of the best bands that ever came out of Cincinnati with his 5-year-old son called Puppies and Kittens Forever.
Oh
Puppies and kitties forever, yeah.
So I hear that Cincinnati is a real active music town. How about the Jugend itself? How big is the Jugend, and what are you doing? What are you organizing? Are you traveling?
Yeah, we went like pretty much like the four of us and one guy. Yeah, we as far as I've only been in it for about a year. Yeah, we went to Pittsburgh and played with the Iron City guys, which took great care of us. You know, everybody's been around and met our guys in the different cities. Yeah.
What's that band Bill plays in?
Frantic Romantic.
Frantic Romantic.
He was also in an old band called Death and Graceland,
That's
who were
right.
pretty good. Everybody's.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He didn't do Snot
But
Boy.
we've got about 15 members in the Jugend, but honestly, only about 6 or 8 of us are really active.
So is it the 50% cut again?
Yeah.
Like the cut?
Pretty much. We've actually been having a little trouble with that lately as a group, trying to figure out what we should do about jackets and whether or not we should revoke them or what the protocol would be for that kind of thing. We've been talking to a lot of other Jugens about how they a lot of other chapters about how they handle it and stuff. And I think for everybody it's it's a source of contention.
But if they don't want to come out, fuck them. They miss out on a good time.
Yeah, but still, I have to say it's a Monday night and
Not every
five.
We're not talking about Monday nights.
Yeah, but
We're
it's
talking
5
about in 8, 12
The
months.
cookouts, hey, his band's playing, and then they still don't show up. It's like, I don't want that guy wearing the same
We ain't
jacket as
seen
me
or
around
heard
town
from
because you're not
Yeah,
part of
There's
my.
guys I haven't met yet.
Yeah.
You're not my family. You know?
When
Yeah.
it comes to everything, Brandon and I started this chapter, so many years ago, and we were sitting around talking one night, and we were both on, about to get married, and we were talking about having kids, and we were getting real jobs and starting to get older and stuff, and we were still, swinging out the fences. We still wanted to party. We still wanted to go to punk rock shows. We still wanted to go on road trips, and
now we get shit for it every fucking time we say there's a Jugend event.
We thought, how can we still like do all this grown up stuff and still, hang out, still keep our friendship together, and we realized that this was the way to do it. And now, like we're both married, we both have kids, a lot of us do. But if I say I want to go out drinking with my friends, my wife gets pissed off. But if I say it's a Jugend event, she can't say anything about it.
All right. Gotcha. So yeah.
Does she still try, Steve?
Mine does, but she's part of the Jugend.
So it looks like there is a good way to keep your Jugend going, and as you guys are showing me on a Monday night, 6 people up. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for hanging out with me, and
Come to Cincinnati, Danny.
I'll come back any day.
Anytime.
Love you, buddy.
Turbojugend must be destroyed.
Must be destroyed.
Must be destroyed. The Denim Punk by the Helsingers, led by Yves de Ville from Turbojugend Helsinki. We heard one piece of the Helsingers a few months ago as they were performing Hamburg City Rocks. This was the second, and I think they only did 2 songs, the second song of this very, very good band from Helsinki, Finland, with the denim attitude, the denim punk, performed by the Helsingers. Thank you, Yves de Ville, for that, and I still hope I will see you on stage at one point in my life. At one point in my life, I talked to Mickey Six from Turbojugend Salzburg about this beautiful patch that he did for the 10-year anniversary of Turbojugend Salzburg, and we'll feature this wonderful patch for Mickey, who not only is a great president and a great helpful hand on the podcast, he also does, by the way, his own radio show, the Turbo Radio Show, that airs once a month live on the internet. You might want to check this out. I'll put the links out on the Turbojugend Radio Facebook group if you want to give it a listen. It's a very good podcast with lots of music and also turbo stuff on it. He not only gives us not only the podcast, but myself, a really, really good hand from time to time. And not only that, we also want to feature his wonderful MVP, his most valuable patch of the month of June. the MVP, the most valuable patch of my Kutte.
Turbojugend Salzburg, 10-year anniversary. With me at this time is Mickey Six, the so-called, not only so-called, but the president of Turbojugend Salzburg, who successfully resurrected the Jugend after a
Hiatus.
after a hiatus and joining the Jugend Salzburg after leaving Leipzig, where he's originally from. And in my hands is the MVP of my jacket, a 10-year anniversary patch of Turbojugend Salzburg. Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Chibester. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to have you in my arms in the rain. But anyway, why don't you give the audience a brief description of this beautiful piece of art, and then we'll get into the details and the background of the patch.
I think everybody knows Stiegel beer around the world, especially our American friends. I discovered or happened to be fans of this beer, best Austrian beer from Salzburg, and we like to celebrate our anniversary in 2013, 10 years Turbojugend Salzburg, and we like redid the logo of Stiegel with the steps and the Stiegel logo, like in I don't know what it's called in English, like fracture letters. And we did Turbojugend without the vocals. Is it called vocals?
Yeah, it's a
Turbojugend. And used the whole Stiegel logo, and also like in the measure of it, you can put it on a Stiegel beer bottle. It's the same measure, like 9 centimeters per 9 centimeters.
Oh, okay.
And then put it on 2003, the starting year of Turbojugend Salzburg, to 2013 when we turned 10 years. And anniversary down below, and it's like black, white, and red. Mm-hmm. The most colorful and coolest colors.
The most infamous colors, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically a logo of a beer brand, and it's perfectly transported into the Turbojugend universe. It has the same images, but of course the letters are exchanged, which raises the question of you pretty much copy a trademark logo.
Yeah.
In this case, it's the Stiegel beer of Austria, and I have to look you into your eyes and ask you: did you ever have any fear doing that, copying a logo of a brand?
No, as I tagged Stiegel beer brand on Facebook, their Facebook page, on the patch, nothing happened, because I think they are proud that some stupid people just try to copycat them. And I think they liked it, because otherwise they would have got back to me and tell me I can't put it on the internet.
I don't know about the Austrians, because Austrians are pretty slow and lame not lame, but slow people. I think they enjoy life more than anything else, and they would not care about starting legal issues and whatnot. But I think if you're in America and if you like do a PBR, maybe like Pabst Blue Ribbon logo, you would probably maybe not have a danger of encounter a legal affair with a PBR from Milwaukee. But in this case, nobody answered. And Stiegel beer, as Mickey was mentioning, is an Austrian beer from the city of Salzburg, which is close to the Bavarian border.
Yeah.
And being Austrian, Chibesta is Austrian. For all of you guys out there in Radio Wonderland who don't know about that, Austria does not have any good beers.
Except Stiegel.
Except Stiegel, right?
So that's one more reason to do this patch, because that's the one I like most.
Praise the Stiegel beer, because there's a regular Stiegel brand and there's this Stiegel Paracelsus brand, right?
Yeah, that's like it's called Zwickel, I think, but I don't know what it means in English.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah, it's more like a nature unfiltered beer.
It's an unfiltered beer, yes. Mm-hmm.
That's very good, and also Stiegel Gold is good, but I don't know if you can buy it in America. But the normal Stiegel you can buy in America.
Yeah, I heard that.
Or worldwide.
Yeah, some of them, the beers they would export. But if you guys get any chance on Austrian beer, do not drink Gösser, do not drink Otterkringer, do not drink Zipfer. It's a horse piss basically.
Yeah.
The only beer that you can reasonably drink is basically Stiegel, right? And
Yeah.
Stiegel Paracelsus. I would highly recommend
And
that.
do you know what's really nice about it? Because I'm coming originally from Leipzig, East Germany, and I like emigrated 11 or 12 years ago to Salzburg. And Krostitzer, with a K on the beginning, is exactly tasting the same like Stiegel. That's what bonded me to Stiegel beer, because if you would like blind testing them, you couldn't
Really?
get a difference of them both. And it's like a Leipzig beer brand outside of a little bit outside of Leipzig, and that's what I like, which is bonding in between my hometown Leipzig and Salzburg, is Stiegel and Krostitzer. If you can get your hands on Krostitzer and a Stiegel, just try both and try to find out which is one.
Okay,
Which
so
is,
it's maybe a little
It's like a-
task for you guys
Yeah.
out there, a little game if you're
Beer-
bored
beer
out there.
testing.
Do beer testing and try Köstritzer.
No, not Krostitzer,
No?
it's
Oh.
Krostitzer.
Oh, God.
Like Krostitzer.
Okay, so
Köstritzer is also good, but something different.
okay, so Köstritzer, right?
Krostitzer, like crisscross.
Okay, try the crisscross beer, and then put buy a Stiegel when you're skiing in Austria and compare them, and it's actually the only decent beer, which makes it actually worthwhile putting on a Turbojugend patch. And this is why I thank you, Mickey,
Thank you
for
You're
doing that.
Always welcome.
And I thank you for raising the flag in Salzburg, the Turbojugend flag, for 10 years.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for the MVP of this month. And again, thank you for giving me your hand from time to time on the podcast and on my body. Good. So we'll conclude the podcast with a Turbojugend update on some recent activities of Turbojugend Toronto Darkness, as I talked to Mark Threat about his organization of the Turbojugend Nights that happened in Toronto, in Canada, at the end of August.
Turbojugend Update.
So we're heading up north today, where I'm gonna be meeting Turbojugend Toronto Darkness, as they take care of the lonely souls who for some reason cannot make it to Hamburg for the Weltturbojugend in the beginning of August. Toronto, are you there?
Yes, I am. This is Mark Threat, aka the Canadian Tuxedo from TJ Rockers FTW and the newly founded Toronto Darkness.
Ooh, so that's a brand new Jugend in Toronto?
Yeah, it's a few months old. We're just getting started. It's a good time.
Why is that? Why are you
wurde
starting the
aktualisiert.
Jugend? I mean, I think Toronto, they used to have a good a chapter running, but you're starting a second chapter in the city?
Yeah, well, the original Toronto chapter is a bit of an older chapter. You know, most of the guys that are part of that have been friends for a long time, and you know, they've been around for a while. And I'm one of the fresher guys. I've been active for 3 or 4 years now, and I just decided, you know, maybe to start something else up in the city. And with the city as large as Toronto, we are, I believe, the third largest city in all of North America right now. It definitely doesn't hurt to have a few chapters here.
Right, and boost some new energy into the city. So, and this is exactly what you're doing in the month of August, right?
Yeah, we're hosting the Turbojugend Nights here in Toronto.
Oh, great. So this is actually the second event, as I was told, in the second Turbojugend, the Canadian Turbojugend Nights, as they are called. Maybe just give us a brief overview about what's going to happen there and who's playing and what people can expect from that.
Yeah, last year was our inaugural year. We hosted it. It was just one show last year, though. It spanned a long weekend, but it was just the one show. This year we have 2 shows, 2 nights back-to-back happening. It's during the August Labor Day long weekend, so it's going to be running the August 29th, 30th, and 31st. The shows will take place on the Friday the 29th and Saturday, August 30th. And yeah, we're going to have a good time. Lots of TJ bands in the mix and a few people traveling, so we're really looking forward to it.
Okay, so why don't you run us through the bands that you're planning on having in the summer?
Sure. The first night for the Friday, we have a few bands, a couple locals, and then a couple travelers. We have a band from Ottawa called the Lindbergh Babies. So yeah, they're TJ Ottawa. We have another band from. They have members of TJ Toronto. It's Kill Sid, We've got another band from the same area, but actually they're part of another new chapter in southern Ontario called TJ Wellington County. That band is called The Nasties.
The Nasties.
Yeah, kind of an old school punk band.
Oh, cool.
And then right now, as headliners, unless we find a huge Toronto band to do it, we have the Screws from Washington, D.C., who are actually pretty worthy of the headlining slot. They're D.C.'s longest running punk band.
Well, which kind of punk are they playing? Which style of punk? Is that an American new style?
Yeah, it's an American old school kind of punk, just very straight ahead punk rock.
All right, but they're pretty famous on the East Coast.
Yeah, they've been around for a while. As far as I understand, I spoke to Chuck Miners, who's going to be playing with them, and he said that they're DC's longest running punk band. So.
Oh wow, that's quite something.
But they've got a bit of a history behind them.
So
that's the Friday night, and then we've got the Saturday night show as well, which is happening at the Bovine Sex Club in Toronto, which is kind of our little CBGBs. We've got a band from Ottawa playing that as well, Four Stroke. Another band from Waterloo playing, Saigon Hookers, who are a good old school rock and roll band. And then we have one of my old bands actually reuniting for a one-off show, Electric Blood. We actually put out a split with Maximum R&R a few years ago. And then as the headliners, we have Against the Grain from Detroit, the TJ Motor City Madmen.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's all punk rock. I think, right? I'm thinking.
Yeah, we're gonna shove the rock and roll down everybody's throat for those.
Wow. That sounds really great. I mean, how many bands were this? 8?
8 bands. We may or may not add one more for the Friday slot, but right now it's looking like 8 bands solid over the course of 2 nights.
Cool. That's quite something. I mean, you can ask the people in Hamburg when they organize the Turbojugend how much of a hassle it is to get 2 bands a night in, and you guys are just doubling it, right?
Yeah, we've gotten a good response for this event, so I think everybody's just really looking forward to it, and they want to be part of it, especially early on, you know.
How many Jugens and which Jugens are you? If you could just maybe give us a brief overview of the Canadian Turbojugend landscape. What type of Jugens? How many Jugens from Canada are you expecting?
From Canada, we're expecting quite a few. Obviously, just in Toronto alone, we have 3 or 4 chapters, and then hopefully the Montreal guys can make it. But we also have interest from chapters in Alberta and chapters in Saskatchewan. So we're looking forward to that. And I know a couple of my buddies from Texas want to come up for it. My buddy Christian Best and his wife are actually skipping punk rock bowling this year so they could save up enough dough to come up to Toronto for the summer. So
wow,
you know, quite the response for it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really big thing. I mean, just to put things into perspective, that if you talk about all those other Jugens from all parts of Canada, I mean, how long would they be from Montreal or from the other areas you were mentioning? How long would they have to drive or fly to get into Toronto? Because Canada is obviously such a big country.
Yeah, from like Montreal, they're looking at a 6-hour drive. For, you know, from the other provinces, it's looking a lot longer. So I don't know whether they're driving or they're flying. But if they're planning on driving, it's going to take quite a while.
Yeah, but they better hop in a car right now, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
To get there. So it's a Canadian thing, but how many Jugens from this? Because I understand that Toronto is not very far from Buffalo, New York, Niagara Falls. How many bands are you expecting from the States to go there? You were just mentioning a few from Florida and anything.
Yeah, I just mentioned a handful, but from the States, I was talking to TJ Buffalo. They're looking like they're coming up. Again, TJ Motor City Madmen from Detroit. They're Against the Grain's looking to have a few people come up with them. So, you know, that's at least those guys there too. And as I mentioned earlier, Christian, Texas, that's TJ Bayou City. So, you know, that's a handful right there.
Yeah, the Bayou City, was it the GNT was a pretty famous member back in the days. I don't know if you heard about him, but who was the guy who was actually tongue kissing. I was mentioning that on the podcast the other day. The
GFN?
Yeah, the GFN, right?
Yeah, that's actually who I'm talking about.
All right, okay, so I got it. He's pretty hilarious. He's quite a figure, right?
Yeah, good dude, definitely.
Yeah, you were mentioning the Bovine Sex Club. Just by coincidence, yesterday I was talking to Willem, the president of Turbojugend St. Pauli. I was talking to him in Cologne, and he was visiting me. And he was. We were talking about Toronto actually, and I've been to Toronto twice, and on a tourist trip. And there was years in the early '90s when Turbojugend was not part of my life, and I was also there last year, but only like driving through, basically just staying one night. And he was pointing out that Toronto really has a nice and very good nightlife, especially for punk rock. And I didn't know that, especially as he was also mentioning the Bovine Sex Club. Can you give us a little bit insight on that club?
Like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of like our little CBGBs here in Toronto. It's one of the last remaining like punk rock and roll bars in the city. They've been around for I think almost 25 years now, and they've always maintained to like stay the way they are. You know what I mean? They host punk shows on the regular, rock and roll shows on the regular. It's really small, dingy, no ceilings, what you would expect from your typical punk rock bar, but it always draws a good crowd. It always draws a large crowd. So I'm really happy we got the Bovines.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, this is probably the event. It's like trying to do something in New York City and pick if still in existence the CBGB, right? It's the place in Toronto, and it's so that Turbojugend really gets a big stage, like playing at the club and having all the Kutten in there. Yeah. Speaking of the Kutten in there, you were mentioning that that you were part of the Turbojugend Negro video, right?
I made an appearance in the I Got a Knife video actually last year.
So that where did that happen? It happened in New York City, right? In Niagara Bar?
Yeah, the Niagara Bar in New York.
So how did you get there? How did you get the chance to be part of that video? I mean,
well, basically, I made a few months prior to that. I made really good friends with TJ Brooklyn and the Uptown NYC chapters, and I went up there down there, I should say, and I visited them a few times, and then just on a whim, I heard, Turbo Negro is recording this new video in New York. Tony just contacted the president of Brooklyn, Joel, and he was like, get as many Jugend as you can to the shoot, And I just heard from it just through Joel, and, I put $150 in my pocket, bought a bus ticket, and just went down to New York for it.
All right, so then you arrived there and you were on.
Yeah.
How was the scene like? I mean, just looking at the video, there were like lots of Jugens.
Yeah, they were from all over. Obviously, you had your Brooklyn and Uptown NYC guys, but you had people from Atlanta there as well. You had people from, I believe they were there from Pittsburgh as well. And then just there was actually quite a few chapters there from all over the place.
How was the scene like? How long did it actually take to get to go through the whole video, to have it all the whole shooting completed?
There probably for a solid 4 or 5 hours shooting the video piece by piece, bit by bit, just kind of chatting, shooting the shit, and just getting the scenes done.
So 4 to 6 hours, you're saying? I mean, I was visiting last year, and I went into that Niagara Bar, and of course they have the illuminated hat on it from the album cover. So I just asked her about the illumination of the hat on the wall, and asked her to turn it on, but she wouldn't even know about it, what it is. So, and she, granted that she's only been around for only a few weeks in the bar, so she maybe she was not didn't have to really know it. But as I can tell, I've been to the bar. It's not your typical Turbojugend bar, as the bars the Cobra Bar or the King in Hamburg, or maybe the bar you were just mentioning in Toronto. So. But I suppose it was fun, the whole thing.
Oh, definitely. It just goes to show you we still need to educate people on Turbo Negro,
Yeah, all the time. It never stops.
as much as possible.
Yeah, but music education is also a big thing on the of the whole podcast, and we were talking about that before, and I was mentioning the really good Canadian music or punk rock group or metal group from Toronto, Canada, Kill Cheerleader.
Toronto's finest.
Toronto's finest. It's maybe not even at least Canada's finest, if not North Americans or the world's finest, because this band is just simply awesome. Do you have any background information on the band?
Well, all I can say is, well, I can say a lot. I can babble on and on, but just to keep it brief, they're definitely one of my influences. They're, you know, aside from Turbo, they're probably my next biggest influence, next to like GNR. So I can't say, you know, enough about Kill Cheerleader. I know they kind of folded on their brink of fame, you know what I mean? When they were just about to make it, they were getting their name out there, getting big, getting known. Like Lemmy from Motorhead was even, you know, quoted as calling them the greatest rock and roll band since Guns N' Roses. So when you're doing something, you know, to get Lemmy's attention, you know, you must be doing something right. And it's just a shame that, you know, they had to finish off right when they were getting big, you know?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So one of their members ended up in jail, and the other ones were simultaneously doing drugs. Probably that's what I heard.
That was the breakdown. That was the breaking point, which, you know, is a shame because it shouldn't come to that. But with rock and roll, it's one of those stories that you hear over and over.
Yeah, but I mean, as I'm regularly listening to the record, and I have to say it's one of the best records ever put out. I mean, talk about a cheesy cover with the unicorn on it, and I think they changed it now to a rubber mask chick, which is more rock and roll 2014, I guess. But still, I mean, the good news is that the music is still there, and you can still buy the music for like no money at all. I think it's not even $5 you have to spend on that, but it's such good music, so you can only and strongly recommend to people who are listening to this, just get your record, buy it, and be all happy. It's a must-have in any music collection.
Definitely. I was actually just on eBay the other day, and I saw a bunch of the records still out there. So if people want to get their hands on it, I suggest they do. Just search Kill Cheerleader, and you'll find something. You know, while you still can.
Yeah. So this is. We probably have to say we are not commercially anyhow involved into the whole thing. It's just both of us are convinced that this band is really one of the greatest ever, and there's no single dollar, Canadian dollar or euro going into anyone's pocket. We're just mentioning because we love them so much.
Yep, definitely.
And I can speak for Bengal, my audio slave as well. He also loves them to his heart. Yeah. So okay, going back to the event itself. I think, I mean, just hearing about the fact about the 8 bands that you organized, this is really going to be something. It's really a good alternative for those of you guys who cannot afford or for some reason cannot make it to Hamburg. Why don't you go either like on the Northern American continent all the way to Toronto, or even travel from Europe to Canada just to get a real good alternative to Hamburg going.
Why not, right?
Yeah, how much would the tickets be? Is that going to be, as usual, reasonably priced?
It's definitely going to be like DIY prices. We were thinking about doing tickets, but just to make it a little easier on us and a little easier on the people attending, we're just going to do a cover at the door. It's looking like it's going to be an $8 cover at the door.
Okay.
Per
show, but that's fair. I mean, that's $2 per band, so that's.
You know, the cover goes to helping every band out. Every band that's playing is gonna get a cut of that because, you know, they're the ones who make it possible.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it sounds awesome. Sounds like an awesome event, and I truly thank you, my Canadian tuxedo, for doing all the work, and I get that from talking to you that you put a whole lot of work in it. And it's quite something to get this going. I think it's also necessary to have like locally well distributed events all over the globe, and it's a good thing that we can see that Canada is doing really something big. I mean, I'm talking really about a big thing that you're trying to get going
and you're trying to raise and make this one like a fixed date on the Turbojugend calendar. So yeah, it's a great job. It looks like it's awesome times. I'll be putting all the information on the Turbojugend Radio Facebook page. The date again the date is Friday the 29th of August for 3 days until a Sunday, right?
Yeah, the Sunday we're just gonna, no show happening on the Sunday, but we're just gonna, have another meeting, another gathering for all the TJ that are still in the city, visiting us. So we want to send them away with the fondest memories possible. So we're gonna do an extra night, just get together and do one last hurrah before everybody heads back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like a really, really good plan. I'm dying to hear from you after the event. Maybe you can update us on how it went, and maybe you can send some audio footage, and we'll think about what sort of audio footage you can bring back from the Canadian Turbojugend Nights that are happening in the end of August. So yeah, Canadian Tuxedo, awesome work. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this interview and setting up such a big thing for the beautiful country of Canada.
All right, well, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure, and we'll definitely be in touch.
All right, so take care and all hail.
You heard it. Go to Toronto at the end of August for all you, especially all of you sorry asses that cannot make it to the city of Hamburg in the summer. Toronto gives you another chance to catch some kick-ass rock and roll, to catch some really good bands, a decent quantity of bands, I might add. So go ahead, cross the border, get to know Mark Thread, and go out and hit Turbojugend Toronto, and go ahead and spend some Turbojugend nights together. Okay, so that was the Turbojugend Radio podcast of the month of June. We just recently learned about the bands that are going to play at the Welt Turbojugend in Hamburg, and yes, thank God we made it. And the villain from Turbojugend St. Pauli, he made it, and he got all of our favorite band, Turbo Negro. You might have heard of him, over to play a show on a Friday, the first Friday in August. So we all are looking forward to that. It's going to be a kick-ass weekend. We have, besides the headliner of Turbo Negro, we have all sorts of good bands. Over there we have the Hip Priest and several other bands that are going to perform on the Friday and the Saturday. As I learned from Villain, I just talked to him a few minutes ago, the combo tickets are sold out for the combination of Friday and Saturday. It's sold out, so I guess you better hurry. The tickets are going fast. If you want to go to Hamburg and watch all the bands play, go ahead, act fast, get your tickets online. You'll find the information on Facebook and on the respective Turbojugend and Turbo Negro sites. Go online, get your tickets, and you will all. Another thing that Gregor and also called Villain is going to organize is a special Turbojugend street map that he's going to have ready for you guys, for all of you guys who have never been to Hamburg. You will not get lost. Villain is taking care of you, and he will have a nice little handout, a Turbojugend street map with all the Turbojugend hotspots out there for you, so you don't get lost in the dark streets, and so no perverted sailorman can just push you into some corner and do whatever he likes with you. So no worries there, in case you're scared. Good. As every month, the end belongs to my Bengal, who is a good boy again and did all the good work for me in the background. So he gets to pick this month's cream puff, and he really is giving it a really hard effort to really make the cream puff an enjoyable thing for you. So if you want to give him feedback, or if you have good bands up your sleeve, just hit us. Go ahead and contact him on Facebook, or write an email to radio@turbojugend.org, and you should be okay, and give him a hint on a good band, and if he likes it, he's gonna feature it.
Whew, technical difficulties nearly forced me to give up cutting this month's episode, but finally I survived the game, and here we are with my cream puff of this episode. Eu gosto de você, gatinha. That should be Portuguese, and in English it's something like I like you, pussycat. So why I'm trying to speak Portuguese? Because it's Soccer World Championship, and I decided to bring you some more Brazilian feeling into your daily routine. So I picked out the CD called Los Suaves Negros, a bossa and lounge tribute to Turbo Negro. And we are about to hear a song called Turbo Negro Must Be Destroyed by the band called New Moscow.